Hi everyone, welcome to the iSpring Solutions webinar series, where every week we talk about e-learning trends, share iSpring tips and tricks, and cover clients' cases. My name is Nadia. I am a community manager at iSpring, and I will be the moderator for today's session. And today's topic we're gonna cover is about time management training, how you can set up everything. And to cover this topic, I've invited my colleague from the Customer Success Department, Natalie. Natalie, hi, how are you doing today?
Hello, Nadia. Hello, everyone. I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing great too, and very
Awesome.
excited about today's presentation.
Me too. Yay.
At this point, let me pass the mic over to you to start the presentation.
Great. Thank you so much, Nadia. So let's start. Knowing how to manage your time effectively will not only make you more productive, but it will also reduce stress, improve your work-life balance, and free up some more quality time to do the things you love. And this is exactly why time management training is so important for employees. Companies that invest in time management skills training are really investing in the well being and happiness of their workers, empowering them to become more productive, more fulfilled, and more engaged. During this webinar, we'll discuss the best time management training methods and walk you through how to implement them in your organization. Let's get started. When I was preparing for this webinar, I wanted to start with the question like, do you agree that time management skills training is important? And then I thought, why? I mean, these people would not have even registered for this webinar if they thought that time management skills training is not important, right? So if that's true, please send me some thumbs up in the chat box. I'll be happy to see them. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for your support. All right, then first let's investigate what time management training is. Time management training is aimed at developing learners' ability to prioritize, organize, and delegate. The goal is to provide learners with techniques to use their time wisely and manage their workload as efficiently as possible. I would say that the main objectives of such training are to empower employees to first identify their time wasters and apply strategies to eliminate them. Second, recognize their patterns of procrastination and use techniques to break them. Then, boost their goal settings and organizational skills. Then, run shorter and more effective meetings. And of course, adopt communication strategies, such as learning to respond instead of just reacting. So, identify, recognize, boost, learn, and adopt. All right, we got it. So, but why is it important? Time management is a set of skills that can transform your professional life. Aside from making you more efficient and thus productive, you can benefit from reduced stress levels and better work-life balance. You can benefit from enhanced personal branding and career growth. You can benefit from more spare time to dedicate to the things that inspire you. And of course, you can benefit from a higher sense of personal achievement. Actually, wise people say that time is money. So poor time management comes at a huge cost for a company, not only in terms of a lack of productivity and revenue, but also low morale, missed deadlines, and damage to a brand's reputation. That is why effective training of this topic on this topic is so important. And now we will show the best way to train employees on time management. However, before we start, I would like to know if you already performed this training in your organization. Thank you. I see that most of you do not conduct this type of training, and that is okay. I hope you find the information in this webinar useful and start implementing it in your training program. So let's move on. When selecting the best ways to train employees on time management, companies should research the different options available and consider which one best suits the needs and approach of the business. I'd like to share some of the best methods to train on this topic. The first one is coaching in the workplace. Recent research shows that around 25 to 40% of Fortune 500 companies now use executive coaches. There is no denying that bringing in a professional coach can be costly. That's true. And that is why most organizations invest in training for top managers who will then pass it down through the company. This top-down approach works well since employees will generally follow the lead and take cues from their manager. If leaders are showing time management techniques such as being punctual and prioritizing, then the rest of the workforce will follow this approach. And there are several well-known coaching techniques. One particularly effective method for producing behavior change is the MCR technique. M stands for model, C stands for coach, and R stands for require. This involves a three-step plan to coach employees into adjusting certain behaviors or habits that they have regarding time management. Okay, but what does each part stand for? M, model. Managers model the desired behavior so the employee can see it in practice. Leading by example allows employees to learn how to handle certain situations objectively. For example, some people model the family first principle. They work hard, they deliver exceptional results, but always put their family first. This is just like the example. Then we moved forward to the coach part. Coach. So managers do some research on their team members to identify certain skill gaps. Then they come up with a step-by-step custom plan aimed at filling in these gaps. All right? And finally, R. So as for require, the coach sets clear expectations and goals for the worker to achieve. At this point, the employee is accountable for applying the changes with the support of their coach. I guess this is the toughest part of coaching. The coach has to believe in and support the employees, but expect certain results to be achieved by the employees themselves. One more method is knowledge management and sharing. Knowledge management and time management go actually hand in hand, as employees spend most of their workday looking for knowledge assets or creating duplicate versions of information that already exists. Having a system that allows information to be collected in one place saves employees time and effort. It's easily accessed and updated regularly. This in turn increases productivity, reduces the creation of duplicate information, and eliminates the risk of losing knowledge assets when an employee leaves the company. This system could be a database or a corporate intranet or a learning management system where employees can store knowledge such as policies, step-by-step guides, or technical training manuals. It could be even a Google Drive folder that all staff members have access to. Or, I don't know, maybe a Facebook group where employees can share information on various topics and discuss them. Okay? Another method is personalized time management training. One of the most effective and sustainable approaches to time management skills training is to launch e-learning courses. While there are a lot of off-the-shelf training courses available, employees respond much better to training content that they feel is tailored to them, tailored to their organization, tailored to their role. More than ever, L&D teams, learning and development teams are using authoring tools to create personalized training on key topics, like time management skills. And usually authoring tools allow the creation of slide-based courses, web quizzes or dialect simulations, screencasts, and video lectures. Just take a look at this demo course on time management created with iSpring so that all of you could see the demo course. Again, this is just like the example. Okay. Thank you. So, and once a training course has been created, the next step is to deliver it to employees, of course. The best way to do is by using a learning management system, LMS. This is a platform where you can not only store learning materials, but also assign online courses to employees, set up deadlines for taking them, and keep track of learners' progress. All right, we've just covered the best methods to train on this topic, and now let's discuss time management best practices. When identifying the best practices, it's always good to focus on actionable steps that employees can apply immediately rather than a lot of theoretical information. Here are some best practices you might find useful. The first one, and I think it's the most painful one. I don't know, maybe you don't agree with me. Let's see. So it's measure how long each task takes. The first step to time management success is getting a realistic idea of how long each task takes. Encourage employees to spend a week tracking how long their daily tasks take and when they are most productive. Remind them to be realistic and accurate. For example, let's say a weekly meeting is supposed to take half an hour, but it almost always runs 15 minutes over, and the employee also spends 20 minutes planning for it and another 20 minutes on follow-up emails. Then they need to factor in all of this time. In reality, their 30-minute meeting actually takes up 85 minutes of their time. You see the difference, right? And this also goes for the so-called dead time, like bathroom breaks, water cooler chats, or coffee breaks. And by having this nothing time blocked out in their schedule, they are able to account for the whole day and avoid the age-old question, where did my time go? I'm sure everyone asked this question at least once. Yeah. Okay, the second practice is time blocking. Most jobs consist of both creative and logical activities. So creative, that's the right side of the brain, and logical, left side of the brain. This is where time blocking can come in handy. Time blocking is dividing your schedule into blocks of time. A block is then dedicated to a specific task or group of activities. For example, most employees work hardest between 9 a.m. and noon. Just another piece of useful information for you. So reserving this time for creative tasks can be effective because they require maximum brain power. More logical or administrative tasks, such as replying to emails or updating spreadsheets, could then be grouped together in an afternoon block when the employee is usually more fatigued and may not feel as creative. So, blocking out time in their calendars when they are not available for meetings will also help employees create some more meaningful time blocks in their day. Good. So, the third practice. uh, to-do list. A daily to-do list is a must to set clear expectations and keep track of your activities. Training on time management should provide some top tips on how to structure your to-do list in the best way so it helps employees rather than overwhelming them. A popular practice is to have multiple to-do lists, like a daily one, then a weekly, and a monthly one. This helps avoid ending up with one never-ending to-do list that can be demoralizing. A daily to-do list should only contain the tasks that are priorities on the day in question. And once employees have created their to-do list for the day, encourage them to put a realistic time frame beside each task. Prioritize their tasks, label them as urgent, important, or regular, and then assign them to a time block in their schedule. Remind them to stick to one task at a time and try to do them in the order of their list to avoid overlooking anything. All right, I hope it's clear. Uh, let's move to the next point, the fourth one, prioritize. Learning to prioritize is absolutely essential for good time management. I'm 100% sure you will agree with me. So, one common way to prioritize tasks is by urgency and importance. In the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey offers a handy guide for prioritizing tasks. So, and we have this slide on the screen. So, urgent and important. We have urgent and important tasks, right? So we need to make sure to complete these tasks first. Then we have important but not urgent tasks. So it's better to time block these activities so you can get them done with a minimum of distractions. Next, urgent tasks, but they are not really important. So we may want to delegate these tasks when possible. And the last one, and my favorite one, not urgent and not important tasks. So we can just get rid of them and remove from our to-do list. Yeah, looks easy. So prioritizing, well, it just reduces stress and puts the things that are going to have the most impact into focus. It minimizes the risk of getting sidetracked with unimportant but urgent ad hoc requests that don't add value to your business. And finally, my favorite practice, setting goals and making a plan of action. When preparing an online time management training course, goal setting should be a priority. Teaching employees how to set goals properly will empower them to take control of their time and achieve more. Goals provide focus and a roadmap to follow. Encourage employees to stick to one goal at a time and follow the SMART criteria for goal setting success. According to the criteria, goals should be specific and well defined. They should be measurable. There has to be a clear way to measure how successful they are in reaching their goal. Without a benchmark, a clear set of metrics, the goal becomes abstract and easily forgotten. Then goals should be attainable or achievable. So different resources, they give just different terms. Attainable or achievable, they have to be realistic in fact. While employees should want to push themselves out of their comfort zone, unattainable goals will just make them give up and feel demoralized. Okay, what stands for R? Relevant. Goals should be relevant. So make sure that professional goals are aligned with company goals and will add value to the employee's life. And of course, they have to be, I'd say, have to be time bound. All goals need to have a time limit or deadline. This helps employee structure their plan to reach their goal and push them to achieve it. Let's take a look at the example of setting a SMART goal. By talking to so many human resources directors, managers, L&D managers, I got to know that they often fight with a high rate of turnover. So my question is, human resources or learning and development folks, is that true? Do you face this challenge or know people who face it? Please respond in the chat. I just want to make sure that it's relevant to you. Yeah, well, I see a lot of yes, yes. No, well, good for you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, then let's take a closer look at the SMART criteria together. The goal is to reduce turnover, as this reduction will further help cut training costs, retain existing talent, and improve the company's image. And there can be many, many, many of other points, but let's go. Okay, is the goal specific? It is. We are to reduce the annual turnover rate. Rather specific. Can we measure this goal? Yeah. Let's say last year the turnover rate was 20%, and we need to reduce it to 15%. Yeah, so we can measure it, in fact. Okay, but is the goal achievable? What do you think? Attainable, achievable? Just reply in the chat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. It does look pretty realistic. Why not? Okay, so our goal is to reduce the annual turnover rate. Is it relevant? Following our example, it is because top management, let's say top management raises this question on a regular basis and HR staff feel uncomfortable with the turnover rate of 20%, right? Okay, and can we set any deadline or make the goal time bound? Any ideas about the timeline for such an initiative? Yeah, of course, it depends. But let's just be creative and set a deadline. How about the end of next year? Do you think it's doable? Hmm. Well, let's say that we can do it by the end of next year, so we have more than 12 months to do this. So you see, it looks pretty easy. To set goals using the SMART criteria. And actually, that's all we need to know about the SMART approach to setting goals. This was the theoretical part of our webinar. However, I assume you are interested to find out some tips and tricks on how to implement this in your training program. And we here at iSpring, we recommend taking the following steps. The first one is tailor your approach. First things first. Your training should be tailored to your organization. It should be tailored to your culture and work processes. If not, your employees will think it's a waste of time and become more frustrated. Always refer back to your learning goal to help employees create more time in their day by reducing time wasters. You can use polls or feedback surveys to better understand what employees respond to and what is not working. This data is crucial to tailor training to the audience and make it as relevant and engaging as possible. For example, I'm sure that most of you know that we, again, at iSpring, we ask to fill out the feedback form after every webinar. And by the way, this is going to happen after this webinar as well, so get prepared. And we do this because we need your responses to become better for you. We use Google Forms, but there are plenty of other ways. Just you can Google it and find the best method for your organization. Okay, then the second step is that we recommend solidifying learning with quizzes. Add knowledge check questions, quizzes, or assessments throughout the training so that employees constantly put what they are learning into practice. For example, if your training focuses on goal setting using the SMART criteria, push employees to assimilate this with knowledge checks questions that require them to apply this criteria. And now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, like this one. So we need to find a to-do list, right? This is what we do. Okay, here it is. So we got it. Okay, so we are telling our learners about the SMART criteria. And here goes the knowledge check. So we ask our learners, our employees, to choose the goals that match the SMART goal criteria. Okay, so let's do it. This can be only one question or a couple of them. It's up to you. Okay, that was the second step that we recommend taking. And the third one is win big with gamification. Gamify your training to keep employees engaged. Assigning badges, creating leaderboards, or creating rewards for completing certain training modules will not only motivate employees to take your training, but will also help them manage their time better. If they know they can win a badge for finishing a 5-minute micro-learning task, they will be able to find a slot in their schedule for professional development and feel a sense of achievement when they earn their badge. Let me show you what this can look like in the example, our iSpring Learn LMS account. Okay, great. So just want to show you, just want to use iSpring Learn like the example. So leaderboard. We just need to go to the report section, and here we have leaderboard. We can choose just the whole company. Or just any particular department. And here we have a list of all employees. We see the number of points that they earned. We see the number of badges they earned. You see it here, right? We can export this report. And as for badges, actually, it's not like obligatory to use. Yeah, let me just open it. Okay, badges. You can use the preset badges, badge icons like these ones, but we can create our own. We can give it a title. Let it be best HR manager. We can add description here, even upload our own badge icon and select a rule. Let's say that we are going to award our employees with this badge if they earned 50 points. Okay, and save. You see, it won't take a lot of time, but will definitely contribute to your employees' skills development. Well, this is what I wanted to tell you about today. We did a great job actually, and now we know for sure what time management skills training is and why it is important. We did a review of the best methods to train employees on this topic, and they are coaching in the workplace, knowledge management and sharing, and personalized time management training. We also identified the best practices to succeed in time management, and they are measure tasks, block times in calendars, create to-do lists, prioritize tasks, and set goals. When it comes to training on time management, it's important that organizations keep their training effective. Nowadays, great time management training is moving online and it harnesses the power and flexibility of microlearning, making sure that each piece of content is relevant and easily consumed anytime and anywhere. Thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate you being so active and attentive. And now we can start the Q&A session. So go ahead and ask your questions or just share your experience with us. I see the question, what is the biggest challenge in time management? Well, this is like a philosophical question. In my opinion, the biggest challenge is to make employees use these practices, make them want to do something in terms of time management. They have to be motivated to do this. So, in my opinion, that's the biggest challenge.
Other than gamification, how do you motivate the slow movers?
Other than gamification. Uh, hmm, Gamification. Well, it depends. As for iSpring, for example, we use gamification. We use like one-to-one sessions. So the team lead and the employee. There are actually plenty of ways, and a lot depends on your business actually, on the position of this employee, of these slow movers. Yeah.
Also have a question from Alina. Are there any activities, games that you can play with a group that demonstrate the importance of time management?
Thank you for your question, Alina. To be honest with you, I did not do this research about some other activities or games, but we can do it together. Why not?
We have a question from Gary. How do you handle unexpected events that throw off your schedule without having to work excessive overtime work-life balance?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Gary. And when I was preparing for this webinar, this thought came to my mind. Unfortunately, it happens, and it happens quite often. And here we have the so-called mm, multitask skill. Maybe that's not every person is able to gain this skill, but I'm sure that it's possible in general. So I think that to to struggle with this, we have to develop like a certain separate skill to complete multiple tasks at a time.
Modbull is curious. After training, if a person does not use the time management training, what to do?
I think the best way is just to have one-to-one session with this employee, because obviously something goes wrong. Or maybe revisit the training itself. Um, Maybe something is not clear for employees. Maybe they do not adjust this knowledge. So revisit the training itself or just have one-to-one with these people.
from Simo. New trends are saying that multitasking is actually not possible. Can we multitask, and how do you handle multitasking effectively?
I think we can multitask for sure. It may lead to some burnouts, of course, but so each individual is to decide whether he is fine to deal with this, they are fine to deal with it, or they are not. Like, I think it's pretty individual. And you were saying about new trends. Can you share a link, for example? Maybe there is a research. So I would like to know about this, to learn more about this. Is that possible? I'd like to say thank you, Nadia, first of all, and thanks everyone. Really, you've been so active with sharing your thoughts and experience, and I hope that you've learned something new today, and I've definitely learned something new from you today, and that is great. So we just exchanged the energy and knowledge. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone, for coming today, for spending that valuable hour with us. I hope you have enjoyed our today's session. Bye, everyone. Bye, Natalie.
Bye, see ya.